Sometimes, true power speaks the loudest when it says nothing at all. On an ordinary flight, an extraordinary lesson unfolded, one that left an entire crew stunned and a powerful leader silently victorious. This is the story of Ibrahim Traoré's unforgettable flight. In a world obsessed with fame, money, and titles, real power often goes unseen. What if I told you that one of the most powerful men in Africa was humiliated on a plane, by people who had no idea who he truly was? No guards. No special treatment. Just a silent leader, quietly observing, until the truth shattered everyone's assumptions. This is not just a story about disrespect. It's a lesson in dignity, humility, and the true meaning of leadership. Stay with me, because what happened next left an entire plane in total shock. The flight begins, quiet strength. The plane hummed softly as it prepared for takeoff. Passengers chatted, adjusted their seats, and prepared for a routine flight. In the middle of the economy cabin, a man in simple clothes sat quietly by the window. He wasn't flashy. No gold chains, no designer suits. Just a calm presence, almost invisible. Flight attendants moved through the aisle, smiling and helping other passengers. But when they approached this man, the smiles faded. Perhaps it was the way he looked, or maybe unconscious bias. Instead of welcoming him, the flight attendant's voice turned sharp. Sir, please sit properly. Don't make a mess. He hadn't done anything wrong. Still, he smiled politely and nodded, adjusting himself without argument. What no one realized. That man was Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso, one of Africa's most powerful and revolutionary leaders. Whispers and stares, judgment without knowing. As the flight continued, murmurs began. Other passengers glanced sideways at him. Some whispered in French, laughing under their breath. Looks like he's not from around here. Probably some poor traveler. He must have never flown before. The attendants began serving food. When they reached him, they skipped offering a choice, giving him whatever was left. Yet again, he smiled politely. No anger. No correction. Only quiet dignity. Inside, he could have pulled out a card, a badge, a word of power. But true leaders don't seek validation from strangers. The incident, power tested. Midway through the flight, turbulence hit. Passengers panicked. Trays flew. Drinks spilled. One older woman screamed as her belongings tumbled across the aisle. Instinctively, Ibrahim rose from his seat, grabbed her bag, steadied her, and helped her back into place. The flight attendant rushed over, not to thank him, but to snap. Sit down immediately, sir. You're disturbing the safety protocols. Other passengers stared. Some chuckled. Ibrahim apologized softly and returned to his seat. Inside, a different kind of turbulence stirred. Not anger, but a deep understanding of human nature. Landing, the shocking truth. As the plane descended and taxied toward the gate, a flurry of activity stirred near the cockpit. A group of officials had gathered at the jet bridge, waiting to meet someone very important. The flight attendants whispered among themselves. Must be a celebrity on board. The door opened. An airline manager and two diplomats boarded the plane, holding signs that read, "Welcome President Ibrahim Traoré." Everyone froze. The flight attendants looked around frantically, expecting a man in a designer suit, with sunglasses and bodyguards. Instead, the simple, quiet man from economy class, the one they had judged, disrespected, and ignored, stood up. He straightened his jacket, grabbed his modest backpack, and walked toward the officials with calm authority. Gasps echoed through the cabin. Mouths fell open. Some passengers lowered their eyes in shame. The flight crew flushed red with embarrassment. The lesson, true leadership revealed. The airline manager, beaming, extended his hand. Mr. President, welcome. We are honored to have you. The captain, realizing the gravity of the situation, saluted. But Ibrahim Traoré didn't gloat. He didn't demand an apology. He smiled kindly at everyone, nodded, and said simply, Respect is not given to a title. It is shown to every human being. Those words hit harder than any rebuke. Passengers who had judged him based on appearance looked away, ashamed. The flight attendant who had scolded him began crying silently. Without another word, Ibrahim walked out, a silent storm of dignity, leaving behind a plane full of people who would never forget this moment. The media explosion, viral awakening. Within hours, the incident hit social media. Photos of Ibrahim Traoré boarding the plane humbly, sitting among ordinary passengers, flooded the internet. The president who travels like the people. True leadership is humility. Underscore, we must judge less, love more. Underscore. News outlets covered the story nonstop. In Burkina Faso, citizens shared the story with pride. Our leader doesn't need luxury to feel powerful. He carries his power within him. A simple moment became a powerful movement. 7. Reflection, the flight attendant's apology. Later that week, one of the flight attendants wrote a public apology. She admitted, Underscore, I let prejudice blind me. I forgot the basic rule, treat every person with dignity. I learned the greatest leadership lesson that day, from a man I disrespected. Underscore. Her words inspired thousands to self-reflect. How often do we judge someone by their appearance? How often do we overlook silent greatness? Ibrahim's message to the world. During a small press conference, when asked about the incident, Ibrahim simply said, Underscore, leadership is not about being above people. It's about walking among them, listening, helping, and understanding, without demanding respect, but earning it silently. Underscore. That message echoed around the world. It wasn't a scandal. It was a wake-up call, a call to rise above ego, prejudice, and arrogance. The final thought, the real power. As the video closes, the narration softens. Underscore, the most powerful people are often those you least expect. True power is silent. True dignity needs no stage. And real leadership walks quietly among us. Underscore. A leader among us. As Ibrahim stepped off the plane, he wasn't greeted with flashing lights or red carpets. Just a quiet handshake and respectful nods from local officials who knew the truth. This man had just reminded the world what leadership looks like. One official whispered, Underscore, sir, would you like us to issue a statement? Underscore. Ibrahim replied with a gentle smile. Underscore, no need. The moment spoke louder than any words ever could. Underscore. A viral moment. But silence couldn't stop the storm. A fellow passenger had taken a photo, Ibrahim sitting alone, calm, while others judged him. It went viral. Across Africa, young leaders shared the image, captioning it, This is who I want to be. In Europe, a major newspaper headlined, President Traoré shows what power without pride looks like. It wasn't just a moment, it was a movement. Back in Burkina Faso, when he returned home, Ibrahim refused any ceremonial welcome. Instead, he visited a rural village the next morning, where farmers struggled with drought. He sat with them under a tree, drank water from a calabash, and listened. A young boy approached, holding a hand-drawn picture of a plane. On it was a man helping an old woman. Underscore, is this you, Mr. President? Underscore. Ibrahim knelt down and said, Underscore, it could be you too, someday. Just help where help is needed. Underscore. A letter from the attendant. A few days later, an envelope arrived at the Burkinabe embassy. It was from the flight attendant who had scolded him. Her letter read, Underscore, Dear President Traoré, I am writing not to apologize for how I treated you, though I must, but to thank you for showing me a truth I never saw. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't demand respect. You taught me through silence. You changed my life. Underscore. Inside was also a pin, her flight crew badge, with a note. Underscore, this no longer defines me. From now on, my heart will. Underscore. The global ripple. Soon, leaders from around the world began referencing the Ibrahim flight incident. A UN speaker opened his address by saying, Underscore, in times of ego and division, let us remember the African president who chose economy class and earned first-class respect. Underscore. In classrooms, teachers shared the story as part of leadership studies. One principal from Kenya said, Underscore, we teach students how to speak like leaders. Now we'll teach them how to listen, how to walk with the people, like Ibrahim Traoré. Underscore. An interview that changed everything. Months later, Ibrahim finally agreed to a televised interview. The host asked, Underscore, why didn't you correct the flight crew? Why didn't you tell them who you were? Underscore. Ibrahim paused and answered, Underscore, because if you only respect me when you know my title, then you never respected me at all. Underscore. The audience was silent. No applause. Just awe. Then he added, Underscore, my people are judged every day for how they look, what they wear, or where they come from. If I can endure it once, maybe it will help others be seen. Underscore. Legacy in motion. Years passed. The world changed, slowly, but deeply. Airlines began training staff on unconscious bias, calling it the Traoré Principle. A scholarship in Burkina Faso was launched, titled, Silent Leadership Fund, for those who lead with their hearts. And in every corner of Africa, his story was told. Not just in textbooks, but in firelit village circles, schoolyards, and dinner tables. Because real leadership doesn't fade. It multiplies. He didn't shout. He didn't demand. He walked quietly, loved loudly, and led invisibly. And the world will never forget that flight. The silent power of true leaders, Ibrahim Traore.